It's fascinating what they've done with Mega Chandelure. Base 175 special attack makes it one of the strongest hitters in the game, with base 110 defenses, which is pretty solid. However, not the greatest speed stat. Base 90, it does get a bit of a speed increase, but not too noticeable. And then low base HP means that it's still taking a lot of damage, even if it's high base defenses. With Infiltrator for its ability when it does Mega Evolve, didn't seem that great when it first came out, but it might be better in Regulation MB than it was in MA, especially with how the format is shaped. We're going to be trying out Mega Chandelure and seeing how well it can perform. This Mega Chandelure team recently hit Champions tier and features some fun picks like the Serena and the Choice Scarf Starmie. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon up is going to be the Mega Chandelure. Really high base special attack and pretty solid defenses at the cost of a low base HP stat, and its speed is still not the greatest for a offensive sweeper. However, it is pretty interesting right now because it's good into a lot of the majority picks right now, including the fact that with Flash Fire, it's immune to fire type moves, as well as it boosts up the power of its own fire type moves, which is pretty solid. It's really good at walling, for instance, Charizard Y. It's really great into the Mega Pyro as well, which is super solid. And it's also great into Staraptor being a ghost type, immune to close combats, not giving a defense boost. With screens being the most popular that it's ever been, especially the fact that Infiltrator, when it Mega Evolves, is actually a good ability because it bypasses Substitute and it bypasses the screens. So Chandelure will ignore the effects of the screens and get some pretty powerful damage off. So it's actually pretty nice in that regard. Heat Wave, Shadow Ball, and then Trick Room, which is pretty solid, which is able to be a form of speed control, which is great against opposing Tailwind because again, Chandelure is not the fastest Pokemon, and then Protect to keep itself around. EV spread wise, it is going to be a good amount of special attack, modest with jump points to its special attack stat. You don't really need that much special attack because already it's doing a lot of damage with a base 175 special attack, and then you got multipliers like Helping Hand and Sunny Day. So I think max special attack definitely isn't necessary. 123 speed, which does mean that you will be able to outspeed the Swampert before Mega Evolving, which is nice, as well as you're able to outspeed the Venusaurs and Dragonites after Mega Evolving with 133 speed stat that you do hit after you Mega Evolve. And then the rest is going to go into HP. This allows you to be able to live stuff like Sucker Punch from the King Gambit, sometimes Kowtow depending on the role there, which can be pretty nice, especially if they run less attack, if they're like Chopple Berry and designed to live attacks. So this is a pretty solid Chandelure. It's able to survive attacks, dish out a ton of damage. One thing to note though, if you do get the Flash Fire boost with your Chandelure, if you do Mega Evolve to Chandelure, you do lose the Flash Fire boost, which is kind of unfortunate. But that is the case for Chandelure. We'll see how well it is able to perform in today's video. So next Pokemon we have is going to be a standard Focus Sash Whimsicott with a bit of a twist. This one's going to be running a modest nature for max speed and max special attack just for the extra damage output. With Moonblast, Tailwind, and Encore, all moves are pretty common. Moonblast, strong fairy move. The Tailwind for the speed control. Encore, which is able to lock in the opponent to the last move they use, which is great for disruption. And then running Sunny Day here. And Sunny Day over Protect because of the fact that it helps in the rain matchup and allows Chandelure to do a ton of damage under the sun, which can be really important for getting knockouts. Pranks, of course, the ability does allow the Whimsicott to get a +1 priority to any of non-attacking moves, and a pretty effective support mod next to the Mega Chandelure. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Chopple Berry King Gambit, and this King Gambit is pretty interesting because it doesn't run Kowtow Cleave. It runs 3 coverage options with Iron Head for the fairy type Pokemon, Sucker Punch for the priority dark type move, and then Low Kick for being able to hit opposing King Gambits, Incineroars, and more, which can be annoying for Chandelure. So you're kind of using your King Gambit to kind of get rid of things that Chandelure doesn't like, especially with Iron Head for those fairy types, especially the specially defensive ones like Sylveon and the Flood. That can be a little bit annoying to remove quickly. Sucker Punch, of course, to help out against like Basculegion, the other ghost types like maybe Mega Gengar before it can draw for Shadow Ball, and then Low Kick, of course, for opposing King Gambits. Define going to be the ability of choice to play around the Intimidate from the Incineroar, because whenever you do get a stat lowered on the King Gambit, you get +2 attack in return. So the EV spread on the King Gambit, it is simply running enough speed to be able to outspeed the Eternal Floettes as well as the Garchomps under Tailwind. You have a good amount of attack, getting the maximum amount of stat points possible with the jump point, and then the rest going to go into HP, so King Gambit can just generally take attacks. And that is going to be this King Gambit set. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Wide Lens Serena, which is able to increase the accuracy of its attacks by 10%. It's really nice because I really want to try Mega Chandelure plus Serena in MA. I had an idea with Gyarados core with this 3, but the problem was the Serena inaccurate triple axle was driving me absolutely crazy. But with Wide Lens now, it becomes a better Pokemon in Regulation MB. You have Power Whip for that really strong grass coverage option. You have Triple Axle to be able to be a strong ice type coverage in the Garchomp, Aerodactyl, and more. And Helping Hand to really just boost up the power of your allies' attacks while Protect to keep itself around. That Queenly Majesty ability just makes it such a great support with the Chandelure because it's weak to a lot of the priority moves. Think of Sucker Punch from King Gambit, Aqua Jet from Basculegion, and more, alongside the Excel Rock from the Lichen Rock that has been popping up. So having Queenly Majesty just to be able to block priority moves is really key, especially on the Tailwind offense team, and can be really solid. EV spread wise, we have a lot of speed on this Serena. We're going with max speed because you don't want to have speed ties between your Chandelure and your Serena, but also you do still want to be able to outspeed the Swampert, especially the Swift Swim Mega Swampert in rain. So when you Tailwind with Serena, and you'll have Power Whip available on deck to just threaten the knockout into Swampert when you lead Whimsicott next to Serena, which is beautiful. You do have a good amount of attack, but you are still running some bulk to be able to survive attacks, just to be able to stick around on the field to keep that Queenly Majesty on deck. But the Serena still will be a powerhouse that threatens a lot of damage with that animate nature, and will be able to take one hit usually because of its decent defenses. Next Pokemon we have is going to be a Choice Scarf Starmie, which is pretty interesting but could catch opponents off guard. It has extra speed control with that Icy Wind that could support the Chandelure and catch them off guard with a double with an Icy Wind plus an attack from an ally, alongside some great coverage moves with a Psychic to be able to hit Sneasler, Scald, which is a great water type move that's just able to weaken stuff like Incineroar that can be a little bit hard to remove, and then Thunderbolt that is able to hit, for instance, like Basculegion and then other bulky water types. Natural Cure for the ability, so when Starmie gets status, you can switch out and it will be cured, which is great. For the EV spread, you are running with modest max special attack to dish out as much damage as possible with the Starmie. I'm assuming you hit the speed stat of 156 because it's able to outspeed Choice Scarf Garchomps, and then it's able to speed creep that by 1 point, which is 154 and 155. So I'm assuming it's supposed to speed creep those Choice Scarf mons, and then the rest is just going to go into HP in case Starmie can actually survive an attack, or maybe like switch in on one attack and then fire off a bit more damage. I think that's kind of the idea with this Starmie here. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be Life Orb Garchomp. There's not really much to say about this mon. It's just really strong in the format where it has a really great speed stat, able to outspeed stuff like Charizards and multiple others and threaten some pretty heavy damage. The only thing about this Garchomp that's really unique, it's running Stomping Tantrum over Earthquake, but there's not really many Pokemon that you can Earthquake next to on this team because the Whimsicott doesn't have Protect, the Chandelure has Protect, but then you have like a Choice Scarf Starmie. It just can be a little bit awkward to really click Earthquake with this team, especially since you're probably utilizing your turns of Tailwind to click the Earthquake, which means you have to Protect, which means it could be like less offense you could be going for with your other Pokemon. So the idea is have Stomping Tantrum for that single target ground type move so you can still do damage with the Garchomp, but also like have access to like a ground type attack plus a follow-up from your ally. The EV spread, pretty simple, just like max speed. And then I guess like just wanting a little bit of extra bulk. So going with a HP stat that is not giving it 19 hit points of the Life Orb Recall. Instead it'll be 18 because of 189. Again, Life Orb is 10% recall. So if it has one more HP stat, it'd be 190. So it takes an extra point of Life Orb Recall every single time. And then the rest is going to go into attack just so it dishes out as much damage as possible, because I guess it won't really miss out too many knockouts since Life Orb Garchomp usually just hits pretty strong. You'll still be able to knock out like most Garchomps with Dragon Claw usually that don't have like an insane amount of bulk, and able to pressure a lot of the Charizards with Life Orb Rock Slide. So how to use the team? Well, mostly it is about Tailwind offense. With Whimsicott, you have a lot of fast Pokemon that features the Garchomp as well as the Starmie and the Whimsicott. So you can go for like speed control with Tailwind Whimsicott, try to outspeed your opponent and dish out as much damage as possible and try to pick up knockouts. You really want to find a way to position the Chandelure to get knockouts, especially with the Sunny Day action on the Whimsicott, alongside the Queenly Majesty on the Serena, preventing the priority moves from affecting the Chandelure. Alongside that, can support it with either triple axle pins, power whip pins, or helping hand, which can be really fantastic. You You also have ways that you could just draw off some pretty fantastic damage at the start of the game, because with that Queenly Majesty on Serena, it can be really nice because Helping Hand an attack with like priority Sucker Punch with King Gambit, the Garchomp with Life Orb that's able to threaten a lot already, and then Helping Hand support usually allows it to get a really strong knockout. And then of course Choice Scarf Starmie could catch them by surprise and get a knockout for a trade that could be really beneficial to the rest of your mons. So there are a lot of leads that you can go for lead-wise. Whimsicott's a pretty good lead with anything. Whimsicott King Gambit, Whimsicott Serena, Whimsicott Garchomp, Whimsicott Chandelure, you name it. Tailwind plus an offense immediately just can be really beneficial. You can also lead next to Serena. Queenly Majesty, just having that priority block can be really nice, and then Helping Hand support can be really effective, especially next to the fast mons. And then of course you do have other access too, like Chandelure lead that can just pretty pair well with everything. You can go for like a strong Heat Wave, especially next to like the Sucker Punch threat of the King Gambit, which can be nice. The Starmie plus Chandelure, maybe catch a Garchomp off guard and get a Icy Wind plus like a Heat Wave combination off. That could be very surprising. And of course, Garchomp Chandelure offense can be pretty nice. Choice Scarf Starmie can lead, and it can catch some surprise knockouts where if you think it's good for a trade and it's beneficial to you, it might be worth leading the Starmie and just going for the trade immediately. And that Icy Wind speed control can be pretty beneficial, as I mentioned before. And then of course Garchomp lead, like Life of Garchomp, is just really strong no matter what you pair it with. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games and try out Mega Chandelure for the first time ever. Alright, we have Sinistra, King Gambit, Eternal Floette, Staraptor, Hisuian Arcanine, and Grimmsnarl. Okay, interesting. Not seeing an Incineroar. I wonder if it's Rockhead on the Arcanine. Okay. I imagine you want to Intimidate though with Floette, because like it's so good of a pairing here. Know what I want to go. The team doesn't have the best ways to hit Floette other than King Gambit, which isn't bad here. Like if it's Swords Dance King Gambit's probably pretty good. I just gotta watch out for the Staraptor. Maybe it's like Whimsicott King Gambit and I bring the Chandelure back. I don't need Garchomp in this game, probably. It is nice to help out against Hisuian Arcanine, but otherwise it's not really that great against my opponent. I think I'm gonna do Whimsicott King Gambit. It seems pretty good into like a lot of general leads, and then in the back I want to bring Chandelure, and I'm gonna bring the Serena. The mon I really have to watch out for is going to be the Hisuian Arcanine, but I also have to watch out for Garchomp and potential Starmie. So let us see how this is gonna go, because I'm kind of curious on how this team is going to play out. But I do think that King Gambit isn't a bad lead here. And if they lead Staraptor, that's fine. Yeah, like if they lead Staraptor, I had a plan here anyway, so it's not too bad. As we do lead Whimsicott plus the King Gambit. And I feel pretty okay with just swapping out into Chandelure and going for a Moonblast into the Staraptor immediately. So I'm going to go for a Moonblast into the Staraptor. And I'm going to go out into Chandelure. So let's see what they decide to do. I imagine you want to threaten the close combats, but who knows? Maybe they double up the whims. We'll find out. They do go out for the Mega Staraptor. I imagine you don't want to take too much damage though from King Gambit if I click like Tailwind, Iron Head. So let's see. Reflect is fine. This is actually best case scenario because I do get a free Moonblast in the Staraptor and I do threaten Heat Wave the following turn. Yeah, exactly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I am modest whims. I kind of wish I was timid. I do get a lot of damage in the Staraptor, but yeah, like that's a lot of good damage. Okay. So I'm going to go for, I could go for Encore in the Staraptor, which isn't bad here. Encore ain't too bad. I could set up Trick Room if I want to, but it's not really needed to go for Trick Room. I think my best play is probably just to go for Tailwind plus Heat Wave. Grims usually carry Foul Play. That shouldn't knock out Chandelure in one shot. And I will have Infiltrator, so they can't set up lights. I mean, if they set up Light Screen, I just ignore it. So that's actually, this is one of the best cases for Chandelure. We're going to go for Tailwind Heat Wave here. Let's see what they decide to go for here, but I'm willing to go for Tailwind Heat Wave. I kind of wish I did have the Timid Whims, because I would have just two-shot the Staraptor, but this is still fine. They probably protect Staraptor and do something with Grim. Yeah, exactly. That's okay there. As we do get a Tailwind up. And what does Grim do? Light Screen. Well, we have Infiltrator on the Chandelure, so we just click Moonblast Heat Wave the following turn. So not really too much here. I could also go for Sunny Day Heat Wave. Do I want to go for Sunny Day Heat Wave? That could also work. Yeah, because it would KO the Grim here. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Sunny Day Heat Wave. I think Sunny Day Heat Wave is fine here. Let's just go for as much damage as we possibly can. And let's see. So Sunny Day will come out. That powers up our fire type moves. Oh, why did I forget to get Scary Face? Well, they targeted Star After, so regardless. I mean, this is fine. They went for Roost. They didn't. I mean, it's going down to Heat Wave. Yeah, you're going down to Heat Wave. You didn't Brave Bird. Yeah. I bet they might be confused on like, why did I KO through Light Screen? Well, it's Sunny Day, but I also have Infiltrator, so the Light Screen did not exactly help them. I forgot that Grim can run Scary Face on this. I'm so used to just like parting shot screens and then like either Foul Play or Spirit Break, but that works. And forfeit immediately. Chandelure just actually too good into that specific duo, I guess. So if you want a Star After answer, you could go with the Chandelure. All right, we have the Star After Pyroar with Torkoal, Grimmsnarl, Sinistra, and Incineroar. What's actually funny is that the Chandelure is really good with Flash Fire, but that means I probably don't want to Mega Evolve it, because if I Mega Evolve Chandelure, it makes it kind of weird here. Okay. So I'm thinking lead-wise, Whimsicott seems pretty good. I can't really see a great answer to the Whimsicott, maybe Gambit lead here. I think Whimsicott Gambit is probably okay for the most part. And then I think I bring Chandelure. The question is, I want a priority blocker. I kind of don't. I think I'd rather just bring like Garchomp so I can threaten the damage into the Incineroar and like the fire types. I don't really need to damage Torkoal. I'm not really worried about Torkoal, Pyro, or Star After with Chandelure, but I am worried about like the Incin, so I will bring the Garchomp back. I don't think Starmie... I mean, Starmie is okay. It's good into the Star After, but it's not really good in like anything else. So I think this is probably okay. Let's see what my opponent decides to lead here. I do like... Okay, Star After Grimmsnarl. I'm getting some deja vu right here, but let's see if this works. We bring out the King Gambit and the Whimsicott. And do I need the King Gambit? I think I could just probably just draw off the Moonblast realistically in the Star After. But the question is, what am I doing with King Gambit? Am I switching, or am I actually going to go for something else? I probably go down to close combat, or it's a roll here. So I think I'd probably just prefer going to Chandelure. It makes sense they didn't go Pyroar because it probably just get absolutely walled by the Chandelure. But it's not like the Star After is in a better spot against Chandelure either. Unless they want to click Raw Brave Bird into the Chandelure slot. But I could definitely see them going for close combat into Whimsicott as well. So I'm kind of curious on who they actually decide to target here. Light Screen goes up. I have Infiltrator on Chandelure. The question is, do I want to Mega Evolve immediately? I might delay the Mega Evolution depending on the turn. Oh, that's a slow Star After because I get a Moonblast off. Okay. And I crit it? I do crit it through Light Screen. Well, I don't know what Chandelure did. If they targeted King Gambit, they guaranteed lost. If they targeted the Chandelure slot... Well, if they targeted Chandelure slot, I feel like they were probably losing. If they targeted wins with close combat, it was definitely an interesting game. But yeah, now this is looking pretty rough for them, I'd say. I'm just going to go for a Moonblast into Grim, and I'm just going to hard swap into Gambit. I don't think they're going to go for Flare Blitz into the Chandelure slot, and I like the idea of like, hey, maybe I could catch a Parting Shot, a Dark type move, or a Spirit Break into this slot as well. So we go for Moonblast into the Grim. Good damage. They did go for the attack here, so let's see which move it is. Special attack drop doesn't matter. They do Darkest Lariat out my Chandelure slot, so King Gambit just absolutely eating that, and then the Grim is clicking what? Critical hit doesn't matter. Spirit Break. Yeah, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Perfect. Boosted King Gambit, looking really good. They're gonna forfeit as well. Okay, this one, it really just depended on who they target turn one. Because, like, turn one, it's a game if they target Whimsicott. If they target Chandelure, it's looking pretty bad for them still. All right, we have Gardevoir, Sinistra, Incineroar, Como, All right, we have Gardevoir, Maushold, Incineroar, Sinistra, Como, and Gengar. Okay, this looks pretty alright for me, although Maushold makes this a little bit difficult. I do think matchup-wise overall it's like fine. I'm kind of okay with just leaning Chandelure, King Gambit, I think. Chandelure, King Gambit looks pretty solid to me for the most part. Starmie is questionable, but it's like okay. I think I like Chandelure plus King Gambit. It puts on a lot of offensive pressure. Yeah, I do like this lead a lot, and I think in the back I probably bring Whimsicott because it's good into Como, and Tailwind seems really nice. The question is, am I bring Serena? Because I don't really need Serena in this matchup, I'd say. Like, it doesn't really accomplish that much. I think probably Garchomp. Life Orb Garchomp just seems really tough for them if I'm able to get a lot of damage off, especially with, like, Chandelure. Chandelure plus King Gambit does really a lot of work into their team, especially against the Sinistra, which is like the only answer to Garchomp that they really have. So let's see what they decide to bring here lead-wise. Gonna be Gardevoir Maushold. This is not too surprising. The Gengar mode looked really tough. I guess the only problem is which ability do they trace, because that's actually kind of big. Okay, Tracing Defiance good because I can actually go for Heat Wave, which is really solid. So I'm gonna go for Mega Evolving, just clicking Heat Wave here, and we are gonna go for a Iron Head, because I only really needed King Gambit if it was the Gengar instant lead, because I want to threaten Low Kick. So I'm just gonna go for Iron Head immediately. I could Sucker Punch and Heat Wave because this could be the... Well, here's the thing. I don't... Okay, their Gardevoir didn't Mega Evolve. Chandelure Mega Evolved first. Interesting. Because I'm curious on the speed of the Gardevoir. Because are they going to Trick Room? If they Trick Room, that's fine. If they decide their Gardevoir's faster, I'm pretty sure I can go for like Sunny Day Heat Wave stuff the following turn. So let's see. They go for Super Fang. And there's a reason why like Super Fang is a risky move. So we do go for Heat Wave here. Good damage. They probably went for Hyper Voice. Also, I was faster, so I was fine with this regardless. I think next turn I could just... And as we saw from the Super Fang damage, I actually live by 1 HP, it looks like. I live the Hyper Voice by 1 HP. So my Gambit just has 50% more HP. So I have 100%. I have 100 more HP than I would have. But yeah, and they're gonna forfeit. Like, Chandelure might be actually pretty nice right now. Chandelure might be pretty nice right now. All right, we have Pyroar, Ninetales, Whimsicott, the Basculegion, Farigiraf, and Eternal Flood. Okay, so Chandelure just walls Pyroar, which is very useful. It also should probably wall the Ninetales, I imagine. The only Mon that can be really annoying is Basculegion, so that's the one we're gonna have to figure out the most. I don't think I bring the Serena. It's like, it's not really that good here. I don't really need it. Starmie is kind of questionable. It's not bad, but it's not like amazing either. The Thunderbolt could be really nice though. And Icy Wind support. Icy Wind could be really good into their Basculegion. I guess the question is, do I want to lead like Chandelure, Whimsicott? Because if they lead the Basculegion, I'm not in a great spot lead-wise. I think Chandelure plus King Gambit isn't terrible of a lead. Bring Whimsicott in the back. And then the question is, am I bringing Garchomp or am I bringing the... anything else? I think Garchomp is just really good here. Let's see. I feel that this is an okay lead because if they lead Basculegion plus like Whimsicott, I can always threaten Sucker Punch. Unfortunately, I can't threaten Kowtow. If I could threaten Kowtow, that'd be amazing, but unfortunately I cannot. They lead Whimsicott Flood, so I can threaten Iron Head into Heat Wave, which is also fine. Okay. So I lead Chandelure plus the King Gambit. I can go for a Heat Wave Iron Head into the Floette. I could also threaten Trick Room if I want as well, because Trick Room ain't bad here either. But I think I just want to threaten Heat Wave first. Because I would like to bring that Whimsicott to Sash if possible. Let's see what they decide here. It is going to be Mega the Floette. double up shouldn't KO Chandelure since this actually has bulk, but we'll see. Fairy Aura. Is this Moonblast? Moonblast? No, they do Tailwind. So I should get the knockout Float and 1 HP on the Whimsicott, which is nice. Oh, they Light of Ruin. I'm getting pretty lucky in today's episode. I was getting pretty unlucky in the last episode, so you know what? I'll take it. Or when I was playing with my last team, so I'll take it. Heat Wave gonna just bring the Whimsicott down to Focus Sash. We get a burn on the Flood. That doesn't matter. If it wasn't the Whims, it would have mattered. But yeah, now we can Iron Head off into Flood. Goodbye, Floet. We will take that. So, I mean, the thing is, the Float would have been heavily weakened. I think I could have just went Whims and then had a very interesting spot. But now it's like looking really, really good for me. Basket Legion gonna come in. Do they have endgame for Reg is the question. We are just gonna go for a Sucker Punch into the Basque. Yeah, we Sucker Punch the Basque and we Protect here. Let's see if they brought Farig. They didn't bring Farig, it looks like, so they went for Protect. Is this Aqua Jet or did they just double Protect? Well, they didn't Protect with Bass. Do I get the Sucker Punch off? I do get the Sucker Punch, so that should be game probably. I get so much damage. If it's Life Orb Basque, it's in Life Orb range. And they went for Rave Crash instead into King Gambit, which King Gambit goes down. But, I mean, Basque was probably the one mon I was really scared of with my Chandelure. So I will take that. As they do forfeit because they do realize, yeah, I probably just can't beat the Chandelure. So, fantastic. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for Moonblast, but maybe they were worried about Sucker Punch. But, yeah, that works out for me. All right, we have Gengar, Incineroar, the Archaludon, Politoed, Frostlass, and Sinistra. I hope my Switch is working. I don't know why champion. Like, I literally had. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful of enjoying the moment sometimes. All right, we have Gengar, Incineroar, Archaludon, Politoed, Frostlass, and Sinistra. I have a fun story to tell, but we have to wait till after. This matchup's weird. This matchup's weird because I do need Sunny Day Whims here probably. I think I go with Chandelure plus Whims. Should be fine for the most part against this team. And then in the back, I think it's like Garchomp plus... Did I bring King Gambit? I think I bring Serena because I think having a way to block Fake Out is pretty good and a way to hit Politoed for a knockout is pretty important. Yeah, King Gambit's not bad. Obviously, there's like Sinistra, there's Gengar, and the Frostlass, which are getting threatened, but I think this is probably the way to go. I hope my Switch is working because for some reason, like... After the lucky streak, I knew my luck had to end at some point because then I started missing Heat Waves turn 1 to just instant lose. And then... a game where I was like, okay, I'm fine against, like, it disconnects on a pretty good position for me, so I don't get it, like, but okay, we're gonna see our Archaludon plus the Politoed, which is really good for me because I can just click Sunny Day and the Heat Wave right here. I guess the question is, do I want to Mega Evolve just for the stats, or do I want to keep Flash Fire? Not really a point of keeping Flash Fire. I mean, it would intercept a Weather Ball, I suppose, from the Politoed, but yeah, we're just gonna click Sunny Day, I think, and we're just gonna go for a really strong Heat Wave. We'll do a lot of damage to Arch, good damage to Politoed. I don't think I need Tailwind to win this game, though it is nice. But yeah, we're gonna go for Sunny Day Heat Wave and see what they decide to go for. Could be like a double up in the Whimsicott with like Weather Ball plus Flash Cannon, but right now, let's see what they decide. We will bring out the Mega Chandelure. Gain more special attack stat and do a ton of damage within the sun with Sunny Day on Whimsicott. Should do a ton here to the Archaludon. You know, we connected. If we connected. As I said before, like it went from lucky to unlucky really quickly. So I didn't do that much damage to Politoed. They go for Flash Cannon. If this is a double up in the Whims, it might be over because I didn't even get the damage to Arch, and now I'm not going to have a way to break through Arch as quickly. Let's see. Okay, they targeted Chandelure. So I could have kept Flash Fire, but like, that's fine. Alright. So we're going to click Tailwind here, I suppose. And we're gonna go for Heat Wave because I kind of see Politoed maybe switching out to Instant and Archalon protecting, not wanting to take the big Heat Wave, and I could go for like Moonblast Heat Wave as well. So I don't think that's like a great spot for them. I guess they could protect Arch, Weather Ball the Whim slot as well, and then pivot out Arch into Instant afterward, which I guess, but then they still don't have a Heat Wave switch for the Politoed. So I think it's probably likely Instant comes in, and I want to have Tailwind up so I can Sunny Day Heat Wave the next turn. Yeah. Instant comes in, makes sense. Yep. I can Encore the Archalon, or I could go for something else. They're all decent options. We do go for Tailwind, and we do get a Heat Wave off, so this will do some okay damage. To Instant, should do a lot. Okay. Yeah, not bad damage. Now the question is, am I Shadow Balling or am I clicking Heat Wave? I think I Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, I think I go down to Throat Chop too, so they could just switch out Archalon as well. Think I might as well just double swap at this point. I'm gonna go Serena on the Whimsicott. Do I want to double out on? Okay, I want to read how I double this up. I think I go Garchomp for the Whimsicott slot, and I go Serena for the Chandelure slot. Because I think help on Garchomp might be more important in an endgame scenario. We're going to go Garchomp and bring out Serena. Now we threaten Power Up and Stomping Tantrum, which is nice. Yeah, they do retreat to Archalon, and I imagine this is Throat Chop into the Chandelure. I could see Parting Shot, but I think they want to get the KO. Or they fake out the Whims, trying to get rid of the Sunny Day. That makes sense too. Okay, that works. Now, at least I have a pretty okay spot where Helping Hand Stomping Tantrum looks really good here into the Incineroar, and even if it's Shuka Instant, which I don't remember what was on that team, I think this is probably the best play. I could also Helping Hand Stomping the Politoed as well, but I think I'll go for Helping Hand Stomping the Instant. Although Instant could protect, I guess, but I don't think you're going to protect Instant swap Politoed, so... Let's see, they don't have a ground switch other than Sinistcha. Sinistcha will take a ton though from stomping. Politoed does retreat. I'm thinking Archalon to get the stamina boost. Yeah, they wanted to expect Power Whip, which is what I thought. Okay. Oh, they double swap here. That makes sense. Into Sinistcha. Okay. That is fair. So I could have went for Helping Hand Stomping Tantrum on Politoed to catch a knockout. I think that was probably better, because now that I think about it, I think they had to bring Sinistcha or Frostlass. I was wondering if it was Frostlass back as well. Okay. Are they gonna Dragon move the Garchomp is the question. I could also see Instant coming in for the Sinistcha and Archalon attacking. So I'm kind of curious if I can get away with going for Helping Hand Stomping into the Arch. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I had a feeling that Instant could come in here because it makes sense. It covers triple Axle from Serena, and I don't think they're gonna protect Arch because because of the thing is like the fake outs on deck because of Queenly Majesty. So I should get a lot of damage to Arch, and that'll be pretty good for me. Because now Shadow Ball is looking pretty good into the Arch slot at the very least. But I needed damage to Instant, which is something I probably need to consider as well. Because how do I damage Instant with my team? I actually don't, now that I think about it. They Electroshot. Did they Electroshot my Garchomp reading a switch? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. No, they target Serena. That's fine. Are they going to Heart Swap here? I could Helping Hand Stomping the Archalon. I think they know that. I think they're probably bringing Sinistcha again for the Incineroar slot. I'm going to go for Triple Axle into the Incineroar as well as Stomping Tantrum. Because if they give me damage to Incineroar, that's massive. But I do think that Sinistcha is probably coming in and protect. Yeah. Okay. So I should get some decent damage off. Protect? Yep. Because they're worried about Helping Hand Stomping into that slot, because that is a play I could go for. So I guess this is working out. I do get Stomping off into the Sinistcha, which is okay damage. I can still preserve the Garchomp, which is pretty good for me. And I do get a Triple Axle into Sinistcha for hopefully a good amount of damage, especially since they should be Kasib. Nice. Good damage. I wonder if they're going back to Instant. If they go back to Instant, that's fine. I think I'm gonna go Wims for the Garchomp. I don't know if Flash Cannon would KO my Garchomp from here. I'm gonna go for Power Whip into Sinistra, because minus one Power Up could KO the Sinistra, but also catches like Politoed on a switch if they decide. I think they're probably likely to protect here, but also I think Power Up does more to Instant on the switch. Yeah, they do retreat Sinistra. This should be Instant. But the thing is, I kind of need as much damage as possible into Instant for a knockout. So I'm just trying to get like Garchomp next to Chandelure as a win con for the end game. Here comes a Power Whip. Yeah, that's good damage. They do Dragon Pulse to Wims got good. Okay. I do have Helping Hand Moonblast. That won't knock out the Arch. I could Helping Hand Moonblast to Incineroar, I suppose. That also works. I'm trying to see if I can avoid a double knockout here. I definitely can. I think my best play is probably just to Moonblast the Arch and probably just protect. Like, sacrificing Wims is fine because I don't need the weather control at this point. I just need a position where Garchomp's in. Looks like they attack here, which is fine. I imagine this is like Dragon Pulse to Serena, Throat Chop the Wims, Moonblast, good damage. We'll probably put in range with Chandelure, which is pretty important. They Flash Cannon that slot. Okay, that's fine. And Parting Shot, I guess, to Serena. Yeah, okay. If I go Garchomp, they're just going to switch out into Sinistra. I don't know if they protect, though. I think my best place to go out into Garchomp still. Garchomp isn't too bad of a play here. And I'm kind of curious if I kind of want to go Chandelure here. Reading a Protect from the Arch. And I want to triple axle the Incineroar trying to catch potentially the Sinistra. This is the problem of not running a spread move because not having access to Earthquake here would be like, I could just self Earthquake, Helping Hand, and that would be pretty good here. I imagine Instant should swap out. I just don't know if the Arch protects because I've been kind of reading it, but I'm not sure. They do retreat the Instant into the Sinistra. Yep. Did they protect? Because I could have went for Helping Hand Stomping. I just don't know if that KOs at the range. Okay, they didn't. Okay, so I do get the KO on Sinistra at least, which is good. The Dragon Pulse shouldn't KO Chandelure. It's only +1. Chandelure actually has good special bulk. Yep. Okay. It's a close one, but this is definitely doable. Politoed is weakened. Instant is weakened. I kind of just got to get a call right. Okay, Politoed in. I think Helping Hand Shadow Ball knocks out the Arch. I'm just curious if they'll let me go for it. I think that's fine though. I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball into Arch and Helping Hand. Because I have a feeling they're probably just gonna Weather Ball and Dragon Pulse. Because if I like Power Whip, I feel like I do a lot to Instant, but then again, I don't remember how many stat drops I have on Serena. Maybe it's 3 or is it 4 at this point? Because I've stuck with Serena pretty much this entire game. Okay, they retreat into Instant, that makes sense. I don't think they're protecting, so I imagine I get the KO here into Arch. I think they were worried about the Shadow Ball Power Whip into Politoed, so it looks like I get this play right. Because I did have to commit Helping Hand and Shadow Ball into the Arch slot. Nice. So I do get the Shadow Ball. This should be KOing. Yep. And that will be game. At least I'm pretty sure that would be game. I guess like there's some stuff that they could call here, but granted, like it's I think really rough for them at this point. Politoed in. I think I just click Shadow Ball into the Politoed and probably Hard Switch to Garchomp. They have to double up the Garchomp to knock out because Weather Ball doesn't KO at this range. They need to like Throat Chop Weather Ball specifically. I could see Politoed Protect, although I don't think it's likely. I just want Shadow Ball to put in range of guaranteed power up, but maybe I should have targeted the Incineroar in case it's Shucka Incin. They do protect Politoed, so the Incin maybe knocks out Chandelure, but that's fine too. They were also probably worried about helping in Shadow Ball because it might have blown up the Politoed. Oh, they parting shot the Serena slot. That makes sense. I'm just going to double protect because one, we stall out a rain turn, which is actually kind of massive, but two, I want to scout for instant protecting. Okay. So this game was very, very, very positional. Like I had to get a lot of calls right with Sinistra and Incin. But luckily, I was able to get like a lot of them right, fortunately. Yep, they protect Incin. I think they attempt a double. Like, I think you always go for a double. They do Weather Ball the Chandelure, which is fine. I think they do double here. The question is, the Politoed's in power up range, so I don't really have to target it. I think I Shadow Ball the Incin. If they get a double, that's fine. I'm going Serena. The reason I'm going to go for this play is I think they have to go for the double. And even if they get the double, I don't even think they win. Because if I go Serena now, preserve it for the dealing with the Garchomp, it's fine. They actually didn't go for the double, so I'm curious what they went for. Shadow Ball and Incin, I get to find out if it's Citrus, but it's probably Citrus on the Politoed. But Death Drop shouldn't matter. They go for Weather Ball. Is this Weather Ball parting or is this Weather Ball Throat Chop? Like Flare Blitz and Rain won't KO, and I don't think they run Flare Blitz. I'm pretty sure they're Throat Chop, but let's see. No, they go for parting. That's fine. Because I'm pretty sure that Power Whip will KO the Politoed, so all I need to do is land the attack. So I go into Garchomp. I guess I click like Life Orb, Rock Slide plus Power Whip. Because Life Orb Rock Slide probably gets the Incin at this range, and Power Whip will KO the Politoed, assuming I connect. Or not Life Orb Power Whip, just Wide Lens Power Whip. It's pretty accurate, but there's not much I can do about accuracy. Then it's just like up to... Then if the Politoed survives, it just comes down to Perish Song and Protect counters. Because realistically, I have enough damage to KO them. It's just... Can I connect my moves to finish off the game? So let's see. I think Rock Slide's enough to hit the Incin, and a bit of damage in the Politoed never hurts. Maybe I should have Stomping the Incin. Stomping the Incin would have also been fine. But they do protect Incin. Okay, perfect. They're going for the Power Up Miss, which is very fair, which is why I cover for Rock Slide, I think. It also gives me a flinch chance on Politoed as well, even though like it's gonna probably get a little bit more HP thanks to Citrus Berry, so maybe Power Whip will miss the KO by like 1 to 2%. It's just gonna come down to, you know, protects. Yeah, like it looks like Power Whip was just barely missing the knockout after the parting shot, so that works out. They do go for Perish. It's just gonna come down to does Politoed get a triple or not. Rain stops. Because I really thought the Incin was going to go for a double protect earlier. That's why I felt like I could get Serena in. And then just like as long as I have power up, I'm good. Now it's going to come down to a few factors. But yeah, now we can Stomping Tantrum. And now we can go for triple Axle. Because I think hitting 299s is more likely than hitting the 93 if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. And I think I only need 2 hits to KO the Politoed. They probably protect Politoed realistically anyway. That's what I assume. Is this Shucka Incin on this team? I cannot remember. Alright. Gonna come down to... Okay, they got a double with Incin, which is fine. That's not that big of a deal. Okay, they didn't protect Politoed, but I did triple Axle. Do we connect the attacks? Yeah, I only need 2. Well, I got a crit on the first one. But I do connect with the Politoed. Now the Incin needs 2 more protects. So they need a quad protect. So very unlikely here. And I'm going to go for Helping Hand Stomping, which guarantee KOs the Incin. So if they get a quad protect, you know what? Then they get a quad protect. What can I say? Like, Let's see what they do here. Or if they get the quad. Because that's what they need. There's no other chance that they have to win. I'm pretty sure this isn't Shuka. I feel like... Alright. They go for the double. Stomping. It does KO the Ensign. Yep. Okay. And that is game. So I did play a little bit weird against Arch, I think, early on. Like, I got some really good calls right and then some bit wrong, but I think I got most of them right, which was like the massive part. Like, I called the Dragon Pulse on the Garchomp and swapped out the Wims, which was really nice. I was able to get like a lot of decent chip damage, and then I think I gave myself high odds. All right, we have the Raichu, Whimsicott, Milotic, King Gambit, Cerulege, and the Gallade. Okay. What am I doing here? This is kind of interesting because I do like Chandelure in this game, but the Raichu is actually kind of annoying. Raichu is pretty annoying to deal with. Did I bring Serena in this game? Serena's not bad, but I'm a bit worried about Cerulege. Garchomp's not bad here. Stomping Tantrum's pretty good. Gambit's okay. It's not necessary. I'm thinking like maybe Garchomp, Whimsicott ain't too bad of a lead here. Because if they lead like Whimsicott, Raichu, I do like that against the lead. I think Whimsicott plus Garchomp's probably fine. And then in the back... Serena, because I like the priority blocker with Chandelure, seems really powerful against my opponent. Power up's really good into the Milotic as well, so let's see what's gonna happen here. I think this is probably alright, but let's see what my opponent goes for lead wise. Who's got Milotic? Oh, I could let the Serena. Okay, that's fine. I can just go for a Moonblast though into the Whimsicott, and I can go for a Heart Swap to Serena. That's not like terrible. I almost did lead Serena Whimsicott. I was debating about it because like if they led the Cerulege, I could always Heart Swap, so it's not like too bad. But yeah, I think now I can go for Heart Swap here. If they're Ice move, it's not great. Moonblast is going to do okay amount of damage, but it's all right. At least they can't Encore my Whimsicott, so I can guarantee Tailwind, assuming that like I don't go down to a double up this turn of like Ice Beam Moonblast. But let's see. They do go for Tailwind, which is fine. I do draw off a Moonblast here, and let's see what the Milo goes for. It does have Ice Beam, okay. Does do good damage to Serena. As we do get a Moonblast off. Okay. This is not too bad, but it's not like great either. Wow, that did nothing. That's a bulky Whimsicott. Really bulky, because this is modest. Why is that Spadef Whimsicott? Okay. I'm going to Encore their Whims. As long as it's not Mental Herb, I'm okay. And I protect my Serena. I don't know. They could double out the Whims here. But if they double out the Whims here, then Milo has to protect because I can Tailwind Power Whip. I feel like you drop a Moonblast into Serena, but we'll see. Here's what they go for. But either way, the Whim stays in. And it's not Mental Herb. I'm in a really good spot with Encore. But if it switches out, it depends on who they switch out into. Ah, they do swap out, so I could Tailwind Power Whipped. This is Gambit. Okay, that's fine still. That's not too bad. Alright, we protect Serena, and they go for what with Milo? Protect? No, they attacked Ice Beam into Serena. Alright. Dealing with this Gambit's gonna be pretty bad. But I have to Tailwind here. I guess the question is, I can't really risk anything switch-wise. Unfortunately, I got like 2 turns calls wrong. But at least looks like they didn't protect Milo. I have to Power Whip the Milo. I need to damage into it. Okay, Power Whip into Milo. Does one-shot the Milo. So Milo goes down. That's a pretty big knockout here. And they Iron Head the Whimsicott. Okay, that's fine. Because my Whimsicott hangs around, so I can actually set up like Sunny Day. And also like Serena surviving is pretty big. Because now I can have Queenly Majesty and threaten the Heat Waves. Which is really good for me. Okay. Curious. Okay, if the Whimsicott is Spadef, where's the Sash? Because I don't think it's Sash Whimsicott. If my Modest Moonblast is doing less than 40% to the Whimsicott. It has to be Sash somewhere on this team. And it's not the Milo. We already confirmed that. Raichu. That's fine. Isn't the play just to go Garchomp for the Whimsicott and just protect the Serena? I don't see a way that they punish this, actually. Because then next turn I can just draw off like Triple Axel, Stomping Tantrum into a slot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. I wanted they double out on the Whims here, but this works out pretty well for me. If not, Garchomp comes in. Mega Raichu Y, that makes sense. Curious what the attack here is from my opponent. Alright. Focus Blast into the Serena slot to cover for a switch, and then they kowtow? Yeah, kowtow, that makes sense, but it's fine. Because they can't... That Gambit's really weak. It's not Black Glasses, I'll tell you that much. But it doesn't look like it has much attack investment either, okay. I have 2 turns of Tailwind left, so I can go for Helping Hand Stomping to KO the King Gambit right now. And I will go for that because I'm pretty sure like Raichu is going to go down to attack, so they have to fear that. But like King Gambit probably doesn't go down to a double up that isn't like Stomping Power Whip. So I think they probably attack with Gambit if they do attack here, or they're going to double attack or switch to Whims. Switch to Whims makes sense too, but I'm okay with Whims switching in because I can Triple Axel Stomping still the following turn, which is fine. So I think I cover a lot of options this way. Also, I don't even think Garchomp goes down to Focus Blast at this point. And if they do, that's fine. Okay, Gambit switches out into Whimsicott. That makes sense. As we do go for Helping Hand. I could have went for Triple Axel double up, but that's all right. This should be Protect on Raichu. Yeah, that's fine. Good damage on the Whims. I feel like this is... Are you Focus Blasting or are you Zap Cannoning? Oh man, I really want to call this right. Because if I call this right, I'm in a good spot. The question is who you Focus Blast to. Are you going to Focus Blast to Garchomp or are you going to Focus Blast to Serena? I can Stomping KO to Raichu here, or I could go Chandelure to cover for Focus. I actually like Chandelure a bit. I think it's more likely they target this line. And I'm going to go for a... Did I power up the Raichu or did I just Triple Axel the Whims? I think I power whip the Raichu. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. Tailwind comes out. Did they Focus Blast the Garchomp? Because I think maybe they could leave a Serena hit, but not a attack. Okay, nice. They did target that slot. Perfect. And now I actually have a pretty good position. Because that Power Whip, good damage to Raichu, but more importantly, we can stall out these turns effectively. I can go for Heat Wave or I could Trick Room here. I'm actually pretty okay with setting up the Trick Room, Mega Evolve for the bulk, and will protect our Serena. Because they can't break their Fake Tears, the Chandelure. I'll live Zap Cannon. They can go for Moonblast Zap Cannon. Chandelure should be bulky enough to survive. Then I can get Trick Room up, and then I can Heat Wave since I don't have to worry about Encore. And as long as I hit my moves, I'm fine. Yeah, so I like this spot a lot. Alright. Feeling good about this spot, but of course there are things that can go wrong. But I do like this position. I do like this. Whimsicott retreats into Gambit, that's fine. Especially because Gambit cannot be slower than my Chandelure at the moment, so... Alright. Just need Chandelure to clutch up. Which I really hope it does. We will protect. They Focus Blast to get rid of any priority, makes sense, and I do get the Trick Room up with Chandelure. Now we can throw off Heat Waves pretty comfortably. My Serena's faster than my Or no, my Chandelure is faster, so I can go for a Heat Wave here. I think I'm just gonna Helping Hand Heat Wave. Because I need to hit the Gambit anyway. If I don't hit the Gambit, I'm gonna lose regardless. So as long as I hit one, specifically in the Gambit, that's ideal. I also cover for any protects, like Raichu could protect. Like let's say I go for Power Up in a Raichu and I Heat Wave the Gambit. If Raichu protects and let's say they're Ockerberry Gambit, I kind of need the extra bit of damage, so I'll go for Helping Hand regardless. Yep, Raichu protects, so hopefully this is a Heat Wave Connect on the Gambit. Please survive. We do survive at least. Okay, based on the damage on the Garchomp, that makes sense, but like, come on, man. Come on, what is this game? All right. Helping Hand Heat Wave as they probably sack the Whimsicott here. I mean, I had to hit a Heat Wave into Gambit, like I just had to regardless, so there's not much I can do. As I said before, I started missing a bunch of Heat Waves after, I don't know. Like I knew that luck streak at the beginning was just too good to say anything, but yeah, I've just been missing so many Heat Waves afterward. Okay, let's Heat Wave plus Power Whip. Or Helping Hand Heat Wave, covers like every switch. Yep. Whimsicott. Protect Gambit, that makes sense. Okay, we connect the Whimsicott. That was the least important one, realistically. But now they're isolated down to Raichu and Gambit. They don't have speed control. At least that on the bright side is something. Tailwind Peers out, which means the Gambit's faster than my Chandelure, which is fine. Garchomp lives the Sucker Punch from the Gambit. I realistically just need Heat Wave and Power Whip. Yeah, I'm gonna target the Gambit. They targeted Serena, they overread. Yep, because I could protect Chandelure, so that makes sense. I had a feeling that they could make that play, and that's fine. I thought they were gonna... Okay. A bit ridiculous, but I still win this endgame because... Or I don't always win this endgame, unfortunately. It's just gonna come down to another Heat Wave hit. It's gonna come down to another Heat Wave hit. Alright, Garchomp in. Last turn of Trick Room. That doesn't really change much here. I'm just gonna go for a Heat Wave and I'm gonna go for Stomping. Because either way, it's gonna come down to one of these. So their win con, I don't even know if they knock out the Kowtow. I don't think they do. They will after Life Orb Recall, so I do need to hit a Heat Wave here, potentially. Because if they High Roll Kowtow, maybe it does knock out Chomp at this range, so please just hit a Heat Wave if they decide to target the Garchomp here and get a High Roll. Unless this King Gambit's Bright Powder. Like, if it's a Bright Powder, we'll find out, I suppose, but... Or we could find out, for all we know. Sucker Punch into Chandelure, takes the knockout, that's fine. So Stomping should put this in range of Moonblast, and that means I win the game. Because it's not Shuckaberry. Yeah, I do KO it regardless. Okay. So, Chandelure unfortunately wasn't able to finish the job. It could have. It had the opportunity to. But in the end, we will at least secure the win. I did get the two first turns really wrong. At least I got rid of the Milo in response, which was pretty good. I felt pretty happy about like how I set it up though with the Trick Room on the Chandelure, because the Trick Room on the Chandelure put them in a really awkward spot. Like getting the call on the Focus Blast was important, like who they were targeting, and luckily I got that right, was able to get Trick Room up. Alright, we have Sneasler, Sinisha, Incineroar, Delphox, Garchomp, and King Gambit. Okay, pretty standard balance for the most part, although Garchomp, no Floette. Interesting. So this matchup is kind of fine. I do like Whimsicott plus Serena a lot here. It does put on quite a bit of pressure. You might be thinking, oh, lean that into Delphox is kind of insane. Well, the thing is, I'm not exactly sure what they're exactly going to bring. I do think that this combo is really good. The question is, am I bringing King Gambit? I think Chandelure is definitely being brought. I guess the question is, am I bringing Starmie or Garchomp? I think King Gambit's a little bit weak. Unless the SD King Gambit could be really scary. That's like the only mon I'm actually really scared of. But if I position Serena next to Chandelure, Heatwave blows it up. So it's not like too bad. I think I bring Garchomp because like it's another switch in the Heatwave, which is always appreciated. And it also like deals better than Incineroar, which my lead does not deal with. So let's see. King Gambit Sneasler, interesting. Okay, not a great lead for me. It's playable, I suppose, though. I'm just gonna Tailwind Hard Swap to Chandelure immediately. I don't think you're gonna kowtow to... Do you kowtow to Serena immediately? I imagine you just go for Dire Claw. Or Poison Jab if it's Poison Jab. If it's Poison Jab and it targets the Whims, that's fine. If it targets the Chandelure, I might be in trouble, but let's see. Lead-wise, this is not that great. Kind of wish I let Chandelure instead, but we'll see. Okay, they protect Gambit because they're worried about the fighting move. That makes sense too. So I will get a Tailwind up with my Whimsicott, and now I threaten Heat Wave the next turn, which is good. They went for Dire Claw into, yep, the Serena slot. That did a lot of damage. I was about to say. They do get poisoned. It's kind of annoying just because of the crit, because I'm like way lower health than I should be at. I feel the switch is so obvious. I could go to Serena for Queenly Majesty, but sometimes you do have to play some mind games. I'm just going for Moonblast Heatwave. They do retreat Gambit. This is Delphox? Instant? Garchomp. Oh, I almost debated about Moonblasting that slot too, but this is fine. Like Moonblasting the... If I get the knockout on a Sneasler, because a lot of these teams run like Quick Guard on the Delphox or on the Sneasler for like Encore shenanigans, that would work out really well for me here. Okay, Moonblast is huge. Heat Wave, we connect. Okay, really good. Really good. Okay, we get rid of the Sneasler. So Sneasler goes down, which is fantastic. Whimsicott still has its Sash available. Chandelure is weakened, but right now looking like a pretty good spot. Alright, curious on who's being brought out next. Delphox is still kind of annoying, but my Garchomp's looking pretty good if I get like damage into Gambit. Like any damage in the Gambit, because then it should put in range of Stomping. Let's see who's being brought out here, because Delphox is kind of weird. The Garchomp might be in range of Moonblast. Gambit coming in. You might think that this is crazy for risking it. I think I'm just going to Moonblast Heat Wave, because if I KO the Garchomp, then I think my own Garchomp should be able to be really good, I think, in the end game. Maybe it's better to save Chandelure and just go Serena. I'm gonna go Serena and click Moonblast. I could see Protect on the Gambit EQ, but let's see. Okay, Garchomp protects. Did the Gambit protect as well or not? It's fine. Okay, yeah, this is fine. I also don't take poison damage, which is nice, and now I threaten Triple Axle, or I threaten Moonblast. Like, there's so many things I threaten into the Garchomp right now, and I can get damage into the Gambit if I want to. I think I'm just going to go for Moonblast Power Whip into Garchomp because it kind of covers like a lot of switches. Helping at Moonblast also works, but extra damage into Delphox does actually matter in this game, so I'm going to go for the target into Garchomp. Let's see if it's instant back. If it's instant back, it gets interesting, but I should be fine against instant back. If it's Delphox, this is about to take a lot of damage on the switch, so that's pretty good. Because then I could probably get a position where I can Heat Wave next to Chandelure under Tailwind, which is actually pretty big. Next to Serena. Gambit retreats. because they're scared of the fighting move. Sinistra. Okay, that makes sense, but this works out really, really well for me. Okay. Because here comes a Moonblast and a Power Up. Interesting they didn't take the Delphox. But I guess they were too worried about the damage dealers. But that works out huge for me. I land a Power Up too. Fantastic. So now we focus down the Sinistra potentially. Yeah, they don't know I have a fighting move, but I do respect the King Gambit switching out because they're coming for the fighting move, but they don't know I don't have the fighting move. So Gambit coming in. If the Sinistra protects, they can't get rid of Whimsicott, so I can always threaten an Encore. So we're going to go for Triple Axle, and we're going to go for Moonblast. The Gambit could still theoretically be scary with Swords Dance. Like if they Swords Dance, well, if they Swords Dance Protect, it's fine. Well, it's not amazing, but I do have plays around it. Okay, no Protects. I do get a Moonblast off into the Sinistra. Good damage. Triple Axle with Wide Lens. No Citrus. Oh, Sinistra surviving on 1 is not great. Okay. Life Dew is fine though, okay. What did they do? Kowtow to Serena or did they target down the Whims? Swords Dance it is, okay. This is where it gets a little bit scary. Granted, we do have enough tools here. I think I just go for Moonblast into Sinistra and I think I just sack Garchomp here. Actually, no, I just protect first. I can protect first. If I KO Sinistra, I have a guaranteed way to win with Helping Hand stomping on Chomp, I'm pretty sure. So I think this is always the line here. Yeah, we go for a Moonblast. Should KO the Sinistra based on the previous damage. Yep. And that should be game. They go for Kowtow into Serena. Yep, because they need to get rid of Queenly Majesty. But now I just guarantee win. Because the way I guarantee win is I go for a Moonblast, get damage into Gambit. I Heart Swap to Chandelure. And then we should be in a pretty good spot to win. Because I just have too many resources that they have to burn. We do get a Moonblast off. Like, I'm getting rid of my Chandelure just because, like, I am not risking another Heat Wave on a Gambit in order for me to win this. So they go for Kowtow, take the Naka into Chandelure, which is fine. Now we can go out into our Garchomp. I could go Serena too, both work, but yeah, Garchomp makes sense here. We're gonna click Moonblast into the King Gambit. We're gonna protect our Garchomp. Regardless, like, even if they get like a bunch of plays right, I'm pretty sure Whimsicott just keeps clicking Moonblast, and with Queenly Majesty, I just guarantee win regardless. They might protect, a Scout for protect. Nope. We get a Moonblast off. The King Gambit takes way too much. They Kowtow the Garchomp. I win the game because then I just click Moonblast Stomping. Or I could go Serena Moonblast. Like, there's too much that I had. So, very nice. Serena, that kind of mon that just puts on a lot of pressure because it has a decent amount of coverage. And thankfully, the King Gambit played scared there. Alright, we have Whimsicott, Charizard, Basculegion, the Eternal Floette with King Gambit and Garchomp. Gonna come down to, I think, a lead here, like calling the lead. Let's see how we want to approach this. Do I expect a Floette lead or not? If I expect a Garchomp lead, it's probably better to do something else, but I think Whimsicott Gambit is still like not bad of a play against them because it kind of covers like Floette pretty decently. So I do like this. I think I go with Whimsicott plus the Gambit. I do think I bring the Chandelure back, and then do I bring Serena or Chomp? I think I bring Serena. The priority blocking is just really neat. So let's see what's gonna come out from my opponent's end. Garchomp's like not bad here, but I do want to try out Serena mode again, and I don't think it's too bad here. I like the priority blocking a lot in the game plan. Okay, they do lead Whimsicott Floette, so this works out pretty well for me, as I do lead the Gambit plus the Whimsicott. I think I have a pretty simple... I could go for Tailwind plus Iron Head here. I could go for Protect Moonblast, which also works, because they probably Light of Ruin the Gambit. I think I'm just going to Moonblast Protect. I don't think you dazzle turn 1. I don't think they ever really dazzle in this kind of position. It's either like double Moonblast or they usually go for a something else. So I'm gonna go for Moonblast just to get chip into Floette. Let's see if I'm right. Protect on the Gambit. Oh no, they doubled the whims? That might not be good. What if I just Tailwind Iron Head turn 1? Also, I keep forgetting because it's Timid Whims. Okay, we confirm it's Timid Floette, but that's not great. It's winnable, but it's still looking pretty bad here. Actually, I think it's winnable, but it's like, yeah, it's not great. I have to hope. Well, it's not Charizard back, so I can Mega Evolve pretty safely. I think I Sucker Punch. I think I Sucker Punch the Whims, because I don't. Is it Tailwind Light of Ruin? I don't think so. I think you just double Moonblast here. Oh, that's just so unfortunate. Tailwind Iron Head, it's just like always calls on that. Okay, I do get a Sucker Punch off, so that means no Tailwind for my opponent's end, so it could matter if it's like Bask in the end game. They do Moonblast. They target the Gambit, that makes sense. Yeah. It's just always the turn 1 is pretty important against this team. Alright, how much does the Heat Wave do? Good damage to the Whimsicott, I suppose, but now we play a lot of potential mind games depending on the back, and if it's Garchomp, we probably lose. I guess it depends. If it's Garchomp, I could go for like Trick Room Protect. Okay, they brought Garchomp. I don't know if they're alive for Garchomp, that's the thing. Do they Self-Earthquake? I don't know. I feel like you click Light of Ruin. I'm just gonna attempt to Trick Room Protect because I think that's like my only hope of like having a chance at this game. Is hope that they go for like Rock Slide plus Light of Ruin into Serena. Maybe I can get something with my Chandelure, but let's see. Okay. Okay. That's actually big. Dazzle? Raining Kiss. Okay, now what I expected. Trick Room goes up from my Chandelure. Now we have a game, unless it's King Gambit back, which if it's King Gambit back, yeah, that's not great. Heat Wave. If it's Poison Jab, that means the Garchomp usually doesn't carry Protect, so I should be able to get a Heat Wave off and a triple Axle into the Chomp. Okay. If I land all 3, it's single target Heat Wave into Floette, so it could be a roll. Okay, we get a Garchomp. Actually, no, it's not a roll. It's going to be like, what, like 5%, 10% live? We got rid of Chomp, though, which is pretty massive. Heat Wave. Oh, I just barely lives on 1. A Draining Kiss, though, so Serena lives. I don't get why they're not Moonblasting. Why is it Draining Kiss as the last move, too? I think it's going to come down to the Gambit set. If I can live Kowtow, I might be able to win. It is Gambit. Okay. Are you Black Glasses? We'll find out. I'm Helping Hand Heat Waving for sure. And then we're playing a 50-50. Maybe it's not 50-50 the next turn. No, it's still fine the next turn. Alright, Chandelure, if you've ever had to lock in before, it's time to lock in now, please. Please lock in and get the Heat Waves off. Assuming you live this Kowtow, which I think you probably do. Again, unless it's Black Glasses. I'm curious if this is Akka Gambit. Okay, Kowtow. Unfortunately, it looks like it is going to be the Black Glasses King Gambit, so Chandelure goes down. Unfortunately, it did come down a lot to turn 1, it looked like. Unless maybe I could go for like reverse Trick Room, triple Axle to Garchomp, which I think could be fair. But if I do that, it's still kind of a call on what Gambit does. But maybe if this is like Iron Head low kick Gambit, then I could go for Helping Hand Heat Wave and maybe win. So maybe that was like my out. But I can't really say for certain like that's a great line because I didn't know if it was Basky Legion back, if it was King Gambit back. But yeah, just getting to turn 1, I mean, it's just like a call, right? It's like, okay, they could Tailwind Light of Ruin to Gambit. They can double up the whims, which I felt like was a lot less likely. But apparently my opponent got me there, maybe calling to Protect on Gambit. So sometimes it's a call. So how was the team? At the start, it was a pretty high start. And I mean a really high start because like this was going absolutely crazy. Opponents were missing moves like crazy, but I still think we were in okay spots regardless, even if they did hit their moves. But it did make life so much easier. It was an insane start. I think like I was having like a 6-win streak at some point where it's just getting ridiculous that they were missing so many moves. And then it kind of like started crumbling where Chandelure started throwing, missing a bunch of heat waves. I was literally missing like triple axles that like first hit, it's 1%, man. It's 1% of his triple axle. So had the highs and then the lows. And then I started DCing a few times, which was really weird because it wasn't my internet for some reason. Because I was also like, if I DC'd on my computer while browsing, it also would have affected my Switch. So I don't know what was up with the communication errors, but yeah, that happened. And then after resuming it, it still felt pretty good. I felt like Chandelure definitely was pretty good into like some of the megas that you commonly see right now. And again, like with Swampert, with the Star Raptors and the Pyroars, like I think the combination of Chandelure, Serena, Tailwind was actually really strong into those specific cores, which is pretty nice to see there. So very happy that we were able to showcase Chandelure, and it's actually a pretty nice spot in the format, I think, at the current moment. So if you'd like to try out the team for yourself, you can try it out with the replica code on your screen. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, again, I'll link them down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.